Well, hello, how you doing? My name is Waldo, and I like to feel the politics. Do you want to feel the politics with me? It's all about feelings, all of it. Anyway, you found me. I'm right here on Kick and on YouTube, streaming. Uh, Feel free to hop into chat, throw any political links, any news links, anything you'd like into there, and we will give it a look. I've got a handful of stories and stuff like that to read through today, and there's my face. You can see it. There's Emo Waldo. Emotes appear on the screen because it's very, very fun. Let's feel the day's news. That's right, KBP. That is right. We need to feel it because that is what politics is. I've come to that conclusion after doing this for a little while and talking about it. It's all feelings, all of it, everywhere. Let's see. I've got I put my thing on the kick thing, and then I put my screens up, and then I'm going to minimize this one and then minimize this one so I don't have to look at my own face while I'm talking. And I've got the chat here, and I've got the YouTube chat just in case somebody goes into that. No one should. It's not as cool. I wonder if YouTube emotes appear on my screen too. I'm gonna put a YouTube emote. Hang on. What is this? And then I'm gonna hit the enter button and see if any things appear on the screen. Doesn't look like it. But if I put all of these, oh wait, there it is. It took a really long time. But these appear immediately. Okay. YouTube chat is just slower and less good. So please hop into chat, shoot any news links, any politics links that you've got at me, and I will take a look at them and see how they are. And we'll talk about them. We'll come up with some opinions, even if we have to make them up. And I was thinking about getting a new emote. I need a new one for uh, thinking hard thinking. I want like a math equation to like move through the screen. I think that would be fun. Uh, what is that one meme with the lady's face? Yeah, YouTube chat is not that good. It is much slower and it's harder for me to talk to you guys. So um, we don't use it. We use the Kick chat. But then all of the videos that I make, stuff like that, get edited. All of this is the clay that turns into bricks, and then the bricks are the YouTube videos and the YouTube shorts and stuff like that. So my YouTube shorts, I think I got, what was it? I got a few hundred on that Zelda thing, and then a couple of comments because I called Zelda conservative. Oh, we need a shocked Pikachu face. Okay, I'm writing these down. What kind of emotes do we need? We do need a shocked Pikachu. Okay, and then we need the math problem for thinking hard. And yeah, the equations. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me bring up my window capture. Here it is. This one? Yeah. Yeah, I want like math equations to fly across the screen. Whenever I take too long to figure out a word, or when I get stuck trying to find the right term, you guys give me grief and throw those math equations up into chat, and it would appear. So I'll work on that to make the stream more fun. And so let's look at some news and politics. Very fun, very exciting. Let's get that screen started. It's going over here. We close that one. And we go to here and we switch back to the main screen. And we got the GOP's new low, shutting down the government to save Donald Trump. Very exciting. Are you guys ready for the latest government shutdown? It's gonna be great. Everybody's gonna love it. Government shutdowns. So much fun. Okay, lost most of your last message. Oh, I'm sorry. Are they too long? Or, I don't know. It's very strange. You've been mentioning that, and I don't know what happened. There's a thing that happens also when I'm uh, setting up the title for the kick streams. Like the UI doesn't work very well. Um, I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, the top versus all thing on YouTube is something I can't change, apparently. I Googled that, I looked into it, and it said you can't change it on YouTube chat. All right, anyway, what was I talking about? Sorry, got distracted. Uh, Government shutdowns. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so much fun. Everybody's ready for the next shutdown. It's going to be great. Um, Chris Hayes, very liberal. Explanation for why they're going to be shut down is there's a general raging hatred of government and a desire to blow the place up. But there's also a very specific reason. It's an attempt to spare Donald Trump from prosecution. This, I think, makes all the sense in the world. Is if this guy shuts down the government, then this guy isn't going to get in trouble. And hopefully the Jack Smith can't prosecute him. And if he does, which he will, because they're not idiots, they know that the shutdown is coming and they have taken precautions and they will not be shut down. Then this first guy gets to go on the TV screen and scream bloody murder about how the government is shut down, but they're still prosecuting Donald Trump. So he wins either way. If they shut it down and Jack Smith stops, they win. If they shut it down and Jack Smith doesn't stop, then they get to scream about him. Oh my God! They get to tear their hair out and be like, the government is shut down and people are suffering, but Jack Smith continues his persecution of Donald Trump. That's what they're going to do. And it's sad that they just try to win no matter. Well, I mean, I get that they want to try to win every time, but once a prosecutor has brought charges, you can't just defund his office because you don't like what he's done. That is a correct statement. Yeah, government shutdown is not a hard reset. They want it to be. They want to convince dummies on Fox News and dummies on Facebook that it is, and they want to shut down the government. And then if Jack Smith continues, uh, then it's wrong and bad, and they're suffering through this government shutdown. But the bad things that the government does are continuing. So don't vote for liberals. Vote Republican. They will stop the government doing bad things. Except they're the ones that are causing the shutdown. Uh, Government shutdown would not end the four Trump prosecutions. Two of them are, of course, being undertaken at the state level in New York and Georgia. So Congress has no power over those at all. And the two federal ones, both led by Jack Smith, one in Washington, D.C., and one in Florida, are protected by any shutdown. They're protected from any shutdown. So they know it won't work. They just need to try so that Trump gets happy and then they can spin it into something to talk about on Fox News. I think there was something good down here. Government shutdown. It hurts people and it hurts the economy, but they don't care. Uh, Kevin McCarthy does not care that it hurts people and it hurts the economy. He does not care. He wants the government to be dysfunctional. Vote for me, and I promise the government will be dysfunctional. That is McCarthy's message, and he's making it happen. And I like this sentence. Just remember the big picture with respect to democracy. When one of the two political parties, Republicans, is led by people who are either genuinely believe a fascist interpretation of reality or don't but pretend out of fear of a strongman, Donald Trump, and his well-armed followers, MAGAs, well, if that party takes power, democracy is over if Republicans win. That's all there is to it. They either are fascists or pretend to be so that they can get fascist votes. We are in a really weird position that I don't want to be in. This is a bad position to be in. We don't want to be here. This is a bad call. If we lose just once, there's a chance the fascism increases its power. It's the ratchet effect where we always move right, but when a left-leaning person is in, it sits still. And then the Republican wins and we move right, and then the blue wins and we sit still, and then the Republican wins and we move right, and then the blue wins and we sit still. Um, it's the ratchet effect. It is uh, sad and bad, and I don't want that to happen. What else is in the news? Yeah, government shutdown. House Republicans lack a viable end game. So it's looking like it's going to happen. White House on Friday directed federal agencies to get ready for a shutdown. Let's see, September 30th. So there's our date. Mm, mm. Bring him here. Come here, Lewis. Sorry. Oh, come here, Lewis. So he can be on the internet. Louis break. Hey, this is Lewis. He's a dog. He's very interested in politics. Um, we don't know yet what his political leaning is, though. So you guys let me know. Louis, what do you think about unions? No? Okay. Nothing. I know. No, not right now. Maybe later. Anyway, sorry for that interruption. Let's go back to the news. Here we go. You're right, Shinsinto. They don't have a end game or a mid game or a start game or any game at all. They just have bullshit they want to talk about on the news. They just want to get in front of a TV and complain about the other side. Let's see. Temporary funding measure. We've got members working, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward on Tuesday to pass these bills, McCarthy said. Yeah, intentional harm. That's the plan. I still believe if you shut down, you're in a weaker position, he said. Yeah, but Trump wants it, so it'll happen. And if he doesn't do the shutdown, the hard right members of the House will call for another round of voting for Speaker of the House. They signed that into their little bit of rules. So Maytag, Boebert, and that child molester, what was his name? Gates. Yeah, that one. They will call for a new speaker if this speaker tries to avert the shutdown. So, uh, if he tries to do the thing where he keeps the government going and they don't get what they want, they will gum up the works. They will intentionally shut the government down because it's good for their talking points. Hurts the country, but it makes them more interesting on social media. So, next up is Biden is telling his donors that Trump is out to destroy democracy. This is a good thing. Biden should be telling his donors that. But his high dollar donors probably don't mind. Uh, Rousing re-election stump speech delivered to a theater full of enthusiastic supporters. Where cameras aren't allowed. So he talks Really leftist when cameras aren't allowed. Uh, can I do a Joe Biden impersonation? Okay, here we try. All right, here we go. Voice work. All right. Uh, I can't do it. Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican. No, I can't do it. I can't do a Joe Biden voice. Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. He talks way too slow. Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. No, I can't do a Biden voice. I'm sorry. Uh, get out of here, pop-ups. I will always defend, protect, and fight for our democracy. That's why I'm running. I'm running because we've made progress, but our democracy is still at stake. I'm running because our most important freedoms, the right to choose, the right to vote, the right to be who you are, love who you love, these basic rights are being attacked. They're being shredded. I don't believe America is a dark, negative nation, a nation of carnage driven by anger, fear, and revenge. Donald Trump does. I have a dining room, a private dining room off of the Oval Office. This guy sat there in January 6th watching that, what happened on television, watching it, and doing nothing about it. Uh, hasn't done a lot of campaign events yet. That's fine. It's primary season. He shouldn't be. Let's see. Oh, good. This guy again. This guy. This is a bad guy. Justice Thomas might have violated federal law. Well, that's good. What's his job? Oh, he's in charge. He's on the highest court in the land. The report reveals Supreme Court Clarence Thomas secretly attended two donor events hosted by the Koch network. Secretly attended these things because he knew if everyone knew, it would be against the law. Uh, Actions put him in extraordinary position and how he might have violated federal law. So here's the actual report. That was just a headline. Oh God. Oh no. Oh my God. Do you guys know where this is? Oh my God, look at the trees. You know where this is? This is at. Oh, come on. I know you're there. The Bohemian Grove, folks. Listen, folks. This man is at the Bohemian Grove. He's here. He's with the most powerful and influential people in the world. Men only. Only men. There's the Bohemian Grove. They're going to go there and they're going to do the cremation of care, which is a ceremony where they uh, sell their souls to the owl god Moloch. You understand me? Uh, they go here. They get the robes on. They do a sacrifice of uh, children, and they kill them in service of God Moloch. So yeah, Bohemian Grove, baby, so good. Oh yeah. What do they call it? They call it a secretive all men's retreat in Northern California. Yeah, the Bohemian Grove, so much fun. Uh, During the summit, he went to a private dinner for network donors. Served as a fundraising draw for a network that has been brought cases before them, the Supreme Court, including one of the most closely watched in upcoming term. You're right. They're sending the children's psychic energy to Saturn. Saturnalia. Psychic energy vampires. That's who these folks are. Let's see. Thomas never reported the flight and is on his annual financial disclosure form, breaking the law, an apparent violation of federal law requiring justices to report most gifts. He is bought and paid for. The right wing has bought him, and he does what they tell him to do. He is blatantly, obviously corrupt. There's nothing we can do about it because the Dems are scared. They're milquetoast. They're wimps, and Biden doesn't want to rock the boat too much in a in an election year, so they're going to do nothing. And the Republicans like it because he's on their side. Uh, I think there was one guy who said he actually would get in trouble if he had done this. Lower judges are saying that if we done this, we would be in trouble. Who is this? This is John E. Jones. I can't imagine. It takes my breath away, frankly, that he would go to a Koch network event for donors. Retired federal judge appointed by George W. Bush said that if he had gone to a Koch summit as a district court judge, I'd have gotten a letter that would have commenced a disciplinary proceeding. This guy would have gotten in trouble had he done the same. But because Clarence Thomas is on top, he gets to do it. There are there is a two-tiered justice system, and Republicans get special privileges, and Democrats don't. Pay-to-play scandal finally connects all the dots. Yeah, Jacinto, that would be an idea, but they're not going to do it because it would require Dems to try hard, and it would require the Republicans to do a thing that doesn't benefit them. The cubes. What are the cubes, KVP? What are the cubes? I don't see the cubes. Am I missing a joke? All right. Um, there we go. It's according to ProPublica, the Justice Department. I don't remember the cubes for Alex Jones and Saturn reference. What are the cubes? I don't know. I don't know that one. The cubes. Alex, the Saturnalia reference to the cubes. I don't know that one. I don't know. Maybe I missed that. I might have missed that episode of AJ. The Koch brothers then used Thomas to raise money for their sprawling network, inviting him to speak at donor events that brought in millions of dollars. He disclosed none of these activities on his annual disclosure forms, an obvious violation of federal ethics law. So he's breaking laws. If pull an AJ and just riff on a thing you don't know. So listen to me. The cubes is a Illuminati plan to restructure the entire planet into a square, okay, into a cube. It doesn't matter that the planet is round. They want you to live in the cube. They want you to live in the cube. They want you to enter the cube. Your house will be exactly square according to federal regulations. You don't get a choice, folks. You will not have a choice in the shape of your house, the size, the accoutrements. No, none of that. You will live in the cube, and you will be given exactly one television, and it will always be on, and it will always be on MSNBC. These are the rules of the cube. And you have to eat the bugs. They will deliver state delivered bugs, will come to your house in bricks. You must eat the bugs and live in the cube. The ProPublica piece identifies two different phenomena. First is the Bohemian Grove, which is where the Kochs developed, and this relationship with Clarence Thomas uh, became Thomas's attendance at donor summits with the Kochs, where donors are promised that if they pay a bunch of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, they will be able to attend this super exclusive event where Clarence Thomas speaks. These are the At these events include luxury travel and private jets for Thomas. It's clearly a fundraiser. These events are and flights should have been disclosed, and they weren't. So this guy is a corrupt judge, and he gets to decide lots of things, and he will decide them based on the people who paid him. The Dems will do nothing about it because they're wimps, and the Republicans benefit from it, so they will also do nothing. So he gets to continue. If only we had like a leftist presidential nominee. Who's this? This is Bob Menendez, also a Dem who is crooked. So, being fair and balanced, Bob Menendez, a Democrat from New Jersey, is indicted on bribery charges, and I want him prosecuted, and I want him to step down. New Jersey Democrat and Senate Foreign Relations Committee chair rejected calls for him to resign from Congress. He should. This is his second indictment since becoming a senator. He should be removed, and if he's indicted, they should kick him out, force him out. I would vote for it. Bribery over the alleged acceptance of hundreds of thousands of dollars in return for the use of a senator's influence to enrich the three New Jersey businessmen and benefit the Egyptian government. Uh-oh. So this guy's already stepped down from one of his committee chairs or something like that. But I also want him to be state prosecuted and put in jail for it. He's rightly decided to step down temporarily as chair of the Foreign Relations Committee. Yeah, send him packing. Get out of here. And he's saying that they're baseless allegations, but he's going to go to trial for it, I suspect. I mean, he's been indicted, so he says, I'm not going anywhere. Federal investigators allege that Bob Menendez received bribes in the form of gold bars. Motherfucker, this guy is going old school. He's going old school. Hey, yeah, I'll do what you tell me. Bring me some gold bars. The senator and his co-defendants are expected to appear in the U.S. District Court, Southern District of New York, in Lower Manhattan, 10:30 on Wednesday. He'll be arraigned later that day, so he'll be arrested as well. Behind the scenes, Senator Menendez was doing these things for certain people, the people who were bribing him and his wife. All right, great. Put him in on trial, have him step down, get rid of him. This is a good thing. This is how the system is supposed to work. I think that's it for him. And then, okay, so this is a fun one. Not real news. So look at what didn't happen this week. I noticed this and I was like, oh, this one might be fun. So, what are we looking at? Social media told us this was people burning books. Very, very Nazi thing to do. But they weren't burning books. They were burning empty cardboard boxes. But promising to burn books in the future. So, he's not literally burning books. He is burning. Okay, so let's see. Missouri is one of certain states that banned books from schools, and Missouri Republicans didn't do a literal book burning. They were burning empty boxes. In a statement posted on Twitter on Monday, Eigel did say he would burn woke books brought to Missouri schools on the front lawn of the governor's mansion. So he's practicing the book burning. The book burning is going to take this is a dry run at book burning. Uh, he would burn woke books on the front lawn of the governor's mansion, but this photo is him practicing the burning of the woke books. I mean, that's just a message sending anyway, right? If if you did this, you would assume that people think that you're burning books, and you said, I promise to burn books, and then you did this. Like, okay, step one, I promise I will burn books. Step two, I burn a bunch of cardboard boxes. It's not a hard leap for people to assume that there are books in these boxes. They are incorrect, but I mean, that's the message he's sending anyway. He's still sending the same message. The same message is, we don't like this woke stuff, and we will literally burn it. Um, they're doing a dry run for their Nazism. So we're gonna practice being Nazis before we actually do it. Very fun, very interesting. And they got flamethrowers, which are like the worst way to deliver fire. Flamethrowers are dangerous and not proficient at starting fires. You put all the fuel under it, and then you light it, and then you dance around. You know, flamethrowers are just showy, which means they're pushing a message. If you're woke, we will throw a flamethrower at you. We are one step closer to actual book burnings. These are the bad guys, and they are promising to do some book burnings in the future. They have the tools, they have the motive. They are preparing for some book burnings. So those are coming up soon. So watch for that to be happening soon. It'll be great. Is chat goofing up again? That sucks. You gotta copy paste everything you post and then post it twice. So your messages aren't coming through. Type them again or just see. I don't know. It's very strange. If you're watching, feel free to hop into chat and shoot any links at us. Yeah, you're right, KVP. There are a lot of practice and dry runs going on these days. The practice insurrection on January 6th, the practice Nazism, the government shutdown. Yeah, we're practicing. We're getting ready for a lot of these things because they're coming. They are absolutely on their way. Uh, if you're in chat, come on in, play the slot machines. KVP is about to play slots, and we're going to find out if he wins or loses. Let's all stare at him. Being slow today. I blame the internet. There it is. Sometimes it takes a minute. Sorry, keep trying. You lost 50 points. Sorry, KVP. You could be like these guys and gamble all your points. Every time you chat something in chat, you get another 5 points, and then you can gamble it. And then all the fun emotes that appear on the screen. They appear all over screen. Very fun. So come on in, give us some chats. I will accept any links to political or news stories. If you guys have anything important that you want me to talk about, feel free to toss it in there and I will give it a look. And we will make up an opinion on the spot if we need to. Look at all those super fun emotes. And let's see if there's any other news going on today. Don't think there is. It's a little slow at the moment. The UAW. Let's look up UAW strikes because I know homeboy, what's his name? Biden is headed that way. He's gonna go. Yeah, here we go. Biden supporting the UAW strike on the picket line. What are we looking at? Yeah. Joe Biden will travel to Michigan on Tuesday and walk the picket line with members of the UAW. Uh, yeah, I have. Yeah, I'm a NPC streamer now. You guys put the things on there, and then it just makes me react. Tuesday, I'll go to Michigan to join the picket line and stand in solidarity with the men and women of the UAW as they fight for the fair share and the value they help create. Um, so Biden posted he's going to go there. Historic presidential appearance on a picket line underscores the political opportunity as they strike against the nation's three largest automakers. General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis enters its second week. So, uh, and I like unions, so I am on the UAW side. Striking is a good thing. Former president on Saturday lambasted Biden's plans. Of course, Trump is against the idea because he is wrong on everything. Let's see. Crooked Joe Biden has no intention of going to visit the United Auto Workers until I announced that I would be heading to Michigan to be with them. All right. If UAW leadership doesn't endorse me, and if I don't win the election, the auto workers are toast, with our great truckers to follow. So only Trump can save the unions, even though he's anti-union and wants to uh, lower wages throughout the country and wants to cut corporate taxes. Uh, so he's talking out both sides of his mouth with that one. Those are the only actual those are a few of the actual policies that Donald Trump has presented: lowering corporate taxes and getting rid of the minimum wage entirely, which will lower wages for everyone, which is the opposite of what the UAW wants and needs. But only he can do it. And the UAW leadership needs to endorse Trump because it's all about him. Again, the UAW is doing a thing and Trump makes it about himself. Endorse me. So it's all about him. Nothing else matters. All right. Joe Biden visiting the picket line is likely a first for any president. Doesn't believe any president has ever visited a picket line during a strike. Pro-union Joe. This is great. Keep it up. Be pro-union, Joe Biden. Please. That would be a good thing. All right, so next up we're going to read through the Republi-nomicon. Let me check YouTube chat just in case. Where are you, YouTube chat? Yep, nobody in YouTube chat, just like I had expected. And that goes there, and this goes here. And then we put this screen there. We can see all the things at the same time. Main screen, there it is. Oh, do I need to move it over? I need to scooch it. There it is. I think that's right there. That's not where I wanted to start. That's the end of where I was reading. So let's start on the correct page, which is 267. There we go. So what is this? This is the Republi-nomicon. Dun dun dun. Very scary music. Very frightening horror book that we're reading about some. This is a horror science fiction book about an alternate reality where Republicans are right and Ronald Reagan is a genius who saved our world and saved our economy, and Joe Biden is a communist fascist. You can't be both, but this is a fictional book, so you can say so. It's fine. It's fiction. You can say whatever you want. I mean, your vampires might burst into flames in the sun, or they might sparkle. They're imaginary. You can do whatever you want with them. So, in this imaginary fictional book that we are reading, Joe Biden is a communist fascist, and Ronald Reagan saved the world. So, very fun, very exciting. Everybody loves it. It is a good time. So, where did we leave off? Got to throw Marxist in there. Well, he's a communist Marxist fascist, yes, who uh, uh, hates unions and backs union dues. So it's very strange. Like he will take away all your money and give it to the poor, but he will take away all the poor's money and give it to himself. It's a very complicated process that they think that he's on. It's a very roundabout scheme. Okay, so we are on chapter 8, the media. Now, these are media agencies. This isn't like describing CNN or Fox News or what they want to do with these things. This is describing uh, the government agencies that report things. Um, Most of this is not important, and even I've never heard of a lot of these things. Uh, The mission of the United States Agency for Global Media is to inform, engage, and connect people around the world in support of freedom and democracy. However, this mission statement does not reflect the current work of the agency. The mission is noble, but the execution is lacking. To fill its mission, USAGM should also aim to represent the truth about America and American policy, not parrot America's adversaries' propaganda and talking points. So, this guy, Mora Namdar? I don't know who that is. Never heard of him. But he doesn't like truth and facts. When truth and facts come out, it makes Republicans look bad. So he would like them to stop doing that. Um, he calls it parroting America's adversaries' propaganda and talking points. So, talking shit about Trump, according to this guy, is parroting America's adversaries' propaganda and talking points. You know, you gotta always be nice to him. You gotta always be nice to the Republicans and the conservatives, or else you are a propagandist, according to these people. A lot of these are things that I didn't even know existed. The Voice of America, the Office of Cuba Broadcasting, I didn't know that existed. Middle East Broadcasting Network, all these things. They really just want them to push Republican ideas. And if they're not pushing Republican ideas, then they're commie, Marxist, fascist who need to be done away with. So we're going to speed over all this stuff to get to the juicy bits. I think 278, the firewall saga. So yeah, this is a journalistic firewall. The amorphous interpretation of a firewall shifts depending on which administration is in office and who is asking questions. Uh, Although a firewall should ensure journalistic independence, it has been used without formal regulation for decades in order to shirk legitimate oversight of everything from promoting adversaries' propaganda to ignoring journalistic safety. When he says adversaries' propaganda, I think he just means anything liberal. Often the firewall is touted when journalists are either promoting anti-American propaganda that parrots the adversarial regime, talking points, or promoting politically based, biased viewpoints in opposition of the VOA charter. Listen, my man, listen. All viewpoints are biased. All viewpoints are politically biased. All of them. All of them. All of them. All viewpoints are politically biased. All of them. There's no way you can't have a non-politically biased viewpoints. All things are political. All the things, everything, all the time, everywhere, political. But he is a conservative Republican, so he doesn't think that his ideas are political. Again and again and again and again, I keep noticing this. It's only political if a Republican disagrees with it. It's only political if a Republican disagrees with it. I, this is the world they operate under. This is the brain that they use. We're digging into the Republican brain right now. Is what we're doing. Republican brain surgery. That's what we're doing. I think the next bit is at 278. The mission failure, sure. Blah 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 blah. personnel. This just describes who should be in charge of it and stuff like that. Conclusion. The USAGM is a story of lost opportunity both to help restore the world's confidence in the promise of and ideals of America and to set a high mark for journalistic integrity and unbiased reporting. These two areas have suffered severely under 2 decades of mismanagement and lack of oversight. Finding solutions to their problems and restoration of the agency's networks must be the priorities of future agency leadership. To accomplish this, here we go, must be fully reformed top to bottom with congressional and White House support, the possibility of considering not only the agency's subparts but bringing the entire agency under the supervision of the NSC, the State Department, or both would dramatically aid the reform. So you would put the reporters under the State Department. I'm sure that'll go really well, my man. That'll go very well under the Republican-led State Department. The reporters now work for the State Department, which is run by the Republican president. I'm sure it's going to go fine. Nothing could possibly go wrong. I've always had the idea of state media. Yeah, it's great. State media is going to be great. See, here's the problem, because the next thing from Mike Gonzalez is about the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, aka NPR and PBS. Uh, they hate the idea of NPR and PBS and call that state-run media because it reports truth and logic. What they would like is for it to be moved under the State Department and provide only propaganda, right-wing propaganda. If it provides right-wing propaganda, it's good, right, and proper. If it provides truth and reality, it's a left-wing scam. They're literally backward. In every way, shape, and form, these people are backward. Here's a really, really, really great couple of sentences. Every Republican president since Richard Nixon has tried to strip the corporation for public broadcasting of its taxpayer funding because they're stupid and bad. That is significant, not just because it means that for half a century Republican presidents have failed to accomplish what they set out to do, but also because Nixon was the first president in office when NPR and the Public Broadcasting Service went on air. In other words, all Republican presidents have recognized that public funding and domestic broadcast is a mistake because you're bad and wrong and stupid. That's why. He types this out, not realizing that he is the bad guy. Like, this says to me in all caps, we are the bad guys. I read the sentence and I'm like, yeah, because you're the bad guys. You want the bad things, Mr. Mike Gonzalez. You want bad things. This next sentence is fantastic. As a 35-year-old lawyer in the Nixon White House, Antonin Scalia. Okay, so listen. No good can come from the sentence. There is nothing good that can come after this first half. As a lawyer for Richard Nixon, Antonin Scalia once said, whatever comes next is guaranteed to be absolute batshit insane and horrible for the people. Okay. Uh, as a lawyer for the Nixon White House, Antonin Scalia once warned that conservatives were being confronted with a long-range problem of significant social consequences. That is the development of government-funded broadcast systems similar to the BBC. He, Mr. Antonin Scalia, working for Richard Nixon, wants less information. He wants less truth. He wants less reality to be told to the people. They're flat out saying it. They're putting it right there in black and white. We want less information to be out there because it's bad for conservatives. We want less information because it's bad for conservatives. They're just drawing it out. If you go looking for these things, you'll find it. All of which means that the next conservative president must finally get this done and do it despite opposition from congressional members of his own party if necessary. To stop funding is a good policy and good politics. The reason is simple. Blah, 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 blah. Demonstrated pattern of bias. Conservatives will thus reward a president who eliminates this tyrannical situation. PBS and NPR do not even bother to run programming that would attract conservatives because they tell the truth. My guy, listen. PBS and NPR aren't attracting conservatives because conservatives do not want truth, reality, and correctness. They don't want it. They don't want to be right. They don't want correctness. They don't want to be real. They want anti reality. NPR and PBS are giving reality. Conservatives don't want it. They don't want it. And they're telling us specifically right here that they don't want it. Let's see. Then he does the numbers where conservatives don't watch PBS because it is real and they hate reality. Uh, Cutting off the CBP is logistically easy. The solution lies in the budgetary process. In 2022, they submitted a justification for fiscal year for money. Okay. Uh, they suggest it would be in the public interest. It wouldn't actually, and they're the bad guys. Okay. This is Doctor Evil's like checklist of things to do. And what have we got here? We've got this one's just about U.S. aid and how we are giving money to other countries and stuff like that, which is a thing that we will always do because it's in our national security interests. Obviously, they don't like it. Republicans don't like this because uh, it's too woke. The Biden administration has deformed the agency by treating it as a global platform to pursue overseas a divisive political and cultural agenda that promotes abortion, climate extremism, gender radicalization, and interventions against perceived systematic racism. So, okay, they don't want when he says divisive political and cultural agenda, he just means liberalism that promotes abortion. Yeah, of course it does. Climate extremism, which is real. They don't like reality. Gender radicalism, which means gender equality, which they hate because it's real. And interventions against perceived systemic racism because they don't think systemic racism exists. If you're against gender equality, racism, and climate change, you're the bad guy. This is Dr. Evil's checklist for evil things. We're just gonna keep doing bad. We don't like good, right, proper, intelligent things, so we're gonna make a huge list of bad things, and then we're gonna do them. I can't imagine why somebody would read this and be like, "Yeah, we love it." Let's see, I think they mention page 287. That's the next page. Ah ha ha. Countering China's development challenge through its trillion-dollar Belt and Road Initiative, the People's Republic of China has directed billions of dollars in loans and investments to advance its geostrategic objective of displacing the United States as a premier global power. The PRC leverages its transactions, termed debt traps by many critics, to strengthen its global influence, extract natural resources, and isolate Taiwan, win political support at international fora, and access ports and bases for its military. So they're upset that China would spend money to build roads and infrastructure in Africa and then ask those African countries to sell them things. This is basic diplomacy. China's obviously going to do basic diplomacy. And these debt traps are what we used to do. America used to do this as well. We used to build infrastructure in other countries. Then, once they were up and running, we would have, they would be polite and friendly with us, and then we would trade with them. They would trade with us, and our companies would go in there and put them in debt so that those people would then pay our companies. This is this happened with all over South America, and it's soft power. They get something out of it. They get a working country. They get infrastructure. They get cars. They get roads, bridges, schools built, and in return, their uh, natural resources and their work and their efforts and their labor go towards enriching American companies. That is the debt trap that America's been using forever. China is now using that same model because we taught them how. And the Republicans are against this because they hate China. And I really don't want to think of it. It is true that that's what they're doing. And if they're doing it because we're not, then maybe we should have. Maybe America could have done that. If it's good for us and it's good for them, then maybe we should do that. Let's be not quite predatory about it. Let's tell them ahead of time what we're doing and how we're helping them and how they're going to help us in the future. But and that can be done. But we didn't. So somebody else did. If there's if there's moves to be made on the global chessboard and we're not making them, someone else will. I don't know why you're upset about that. I don't know why you're claiming that that is some nightmare scenario when it's blatant and obvious that that's what they're going to do. Then what do we got? We've got World Bank stuff. Yeah, obviously that's what they're going to do. Blah, 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 blah. Oh no, climate change. Oh no, that's not real according to this book. President Biden issued executive orders to put climate crisis at the center of the U.S. foreign policy and national security and mitigate the devastating inequalities that intersect with gender, race, ethnicity, and economic security. Climate Agency and redirected its private sector engagement strategy, teaming up with America's corporate sector to wean countries off foreign aid through private investment and trade, to support administration global policy and transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy. Oh my God. No, not renewable energy. How is poor Exxon gonna make billions of dollars? Won't someone please think about Exxon? All right. Diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda. Oh no. The DEI committees. We hate them. Uh, they created an agency-wide dashboard and DEI scorecard for all bureaus, offices, and missions to track staff compliance with the administration DEI directives. The chief DEI officer oversees the DEI infrastructure and sits in the administration's office. DEI directives are now part of all agency policies and are incorporated into standard clauses in all contracts and work grant awards. These seek to do business with an agency must describe the approaches they will use to diversify the partner base, gender and climate equity, corrupting every aspect of the agency's overseas work. Exactly, Shinsinto. This means less white people. Uh, let's see, what else? So you can't do foreign aid because it has a DEI element, not the entire job, but like one guy is like, "Hey, are we doing DEI?" And he's like, "Okay, I'll try." Whole thing needs to be thrown out. Throw out the entire government soup because one ingredient of hundreds of thousands is DEI. Refocusing gender equality on women, children, and families instead of protecting women and children's unalienable rights and propelling their ability to thrive in society. Past Democratic administrations have nearly erased what females are and what femininity is through gender policies and practices. For instance, the administration have diluted U.S. aid. Uh-huh. Um, Families are the basic unit and foundation for a thriving society. Without women, there are no children, and society cannot continue, as evidenced by the confirmation testimony of now Associate Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. The progressive left has so misused and altered the definition of what is a woman that one of our U.S. Supreme Court justices was unable to delineate clearly the fundamental biological and sexual traits that define the group in which she is a part. Um, well, when they take those rights away, Shinsedo, they get more babies, and that's what they want. Uh, so yeah, the that's whole statement is gross. I agree, KPP. This is really gross. Uh, we could probably do an entire section on it, but what is a woman? Anybody who says that they are. That's it. Uh, Females are different than women. Women is a term that we made up and can change and has an entire what's the word spectrum. So anybody who says that they are is. That's it. But that upsets Republican types, and they don't like that, and they can't differentiate women from females. There is a difference. They don't know it. They can't comprehend it. Their brains are broken. Too small brained for it. Here they are describing their small brains that they cannot comprehend it. In the past, the word gender was a polite alternative to the word sex. Nope, not true. Incorrect, sir. That is not what that means. Or term biological sex. No, not correct. This sentence is incorrect. In the past, the word gender was polite alternative to the word sex or term biological sex. No, that's not what that has ever meant. Never. Uh, the left has commandeered the term gender, which used to mean either male or female. Nope, not correct. To include a spectrum of others who are seeking to alter biological or societal sexual norms. There's their there's their problem. This is their problem. Norms. The promotion of gender radicalism is anathema to the traditional norms of many societies. Norms. This is all they care about. You have to fit into the boxes that we, in our small brains, have built. If you do not fit into the small little boxes that we have built, you are abnormal and you need to be removed from society. We do not accept you because you do not fit into the tiny little boxes that we have built because we have tiny little brains. And this is wedged into a policy discussion about aid, international aid, feeding poor people across the country or across the world. And of course, they have to mix in this one about uh, abortion and Planned Parenthood because they hate that. And let's see, blah blah blah. We hate abortion, religious freedom. Where's the emo Waldo emotes? There they are. Very important. Religious freedom. Generally, when a conservative Christian says religious freedom, they just mean religious freedom for themselves to do what they want. It's a short little sentence. There was nothing interesting in there, though. Then page 301, I think the next important thing is global health, even though they probably wouldn't push for universal health care. They don't like that. It should be a money-making organization. And there's more down here. Where are we? You've heard nuclear family a lot, yeah, because that's what they think is important. That's the norm for them. That's what must happen. If you are outside that nuclear family, you are abnormal and not to be trusted and not to be accepted. Let's see. Yeah, page 301 was the next one. Ah, there it is. Great. Leveraging foreign aid to unleash the power of America's private sector. Remember those debt traps I talked about? They complained about Chinese debt traps. But what are they going to build? American debt traps. The next conservative administration must return U.S. aid to a foreign aid model that leverages its resources to promote private sector solutions to the world's true developmental problems, and in the end, and end the need for future foreign aid. Private capital investment in these markets is the greatest enabler of job creation and sustainable economic growth throughout the developing world. Get rid of the Chinese debt traps and install American debt traps. That's the plan. That's the actual, literal Republican plan. It's right here. They're telling us. What else we got? Page 311, I think was the conclusion. Yeah, scoop down there. This is just describing which areas need the thing. Conclusion. The next conservative administration will have a unique opportunity to realign U.S. foreign assistance with American national interests and the principles of good governance, and to more accurately reflect the U.S. taxpayer's unmatched charitable desire to help those in need. Nope. Charitable desire to help those in need. Oh, you mean the companies are going to do it for free? No. Those companies are going to do it for profit. It can build on a strong baseline of conservative reforms undertaken by the Trump administration to counter the communist China strategy of world domination. Don't want communist China to be world dominant, but we should. I agree that we need to work with them, but they're not communists. Get over it. Um, However, this will require the bold steps that are taken on day one to undo the gross misuse of foreign aid by the current administration to promote radical ideology and is politically divisive at home and harms our global standing. Politically divisive at home. That means Republicans don't like it. That's what it means. Politically divisive at home means Republicans don't like the thing. We don't like it. We. This is just general welfare on page 315. So that is where we will leave off today. That is, I haven't read this one yet, but I think it should be pretty good. So general welfare will be Department of Agriculture and the Department of Education. That's the one I really want to get to. So we might do that next week. I'll read over this general welfare, take some notes, and then we'll look at that and the Department of Education next week that they really, really, really hate. Republicans hate that one. They hate that Department of Education. They hate it. They hate it a lot because it provides facts, education, and intelligence to children, and they do not want that. You can't run a Republican government if your population is educated. It won't work. Um, so that is it for me today. I appreciate you guys coming in. I appreciate you watching and chatting in. It's very fun. Uh, I will work on those emotes that we already discussed, um, and I will be back on Monday. Yeah, Monday should be easy enough on Monday. We'll do some. We'll cruise down the headlines again, and then we will play some video games on Monday. Wednesday should be an hour early, and it'll be the Republican debate. Hooray! We have politics to watch. So we'll watch the Republican debate on Wednesday. So be here about 6 p.m. West Coast time, 7 or 9 p.m. East Coast time. If you're an idiot who lives on the East Coast, kind of, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Hey, listen. Are you on East Coast time? Do you live on the East Coast? You're fucking up. Quit it. Stop that. Don't do that. Live on the West Coast with the best coast. Anyway, so the Republican debate is on Wednesday, so we will live stream that thing. Please come over and watch it. KVP, you poor bastard. Don't live there. Don't do it. Uh, we'll watch that live and heckle them as best we can, and then I think we'll watch the Trump thing. So what is old Donald Trump doing on Wednesday? He's not going to the Republican debate. No, sir. He's already won the Republican debate. He doesn't need to go there. So what is he doing? He's talking to UAW workers. He's talking to workers in the Rust Belt. So he's talking to the workers on Wednesday. So he's going to run his own little thing. So we'll watch the Republican debate, and then we will jump over and we will watch what he says to these workers and how faux populist he is going to be. So we'll find out how bad he is, and we'll watch those on Wednesday night. And that is everything. Uh, I appreciate anybody who came in. If you're watching, please shoot links in here. Go to the Discord page and shoot links there. And go to the YouTube page to spell things wrong, to watch the videos and shoot comments. I think what was the latest numbers? I think let me look at my latest numbers. They're very bad. They're not very good, but they're getting better. You know. Um, content 262 views on the Zelda is a conservative. Of course, this all comes from the live stream. So if you're watching the live streams, you get all of it fresh and raw, and then I refine it and turn it into videos and shorts. Um, and then I think I had my biggest one, 727 views on the Republican thought process. Lots of angry comments about that one as well. So those are shorts. And then, God, I'm on TikTok apparently. And let me see, I have a whopping 7 followers on TikTok. And all I'm doing is just putting the same shorts up over there. So trying to get the word out, trying to get the name out so people will show up and watch, and then it'll be fun. And then we'll have more links and more people to talk to and all kinds of fun stuff. So that is the plan. And I appreciate anybody who's watching, and thanks guys for coming in. And that is it for me today. And I will talk to you all on Monday. Goodbye. Have a good day.